Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio performance.
Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. Word. My bitch mad when I'm outside, it's bound to be a shootout. I got my foul, you got your foul, don't make me bring the crew out. I walk in clubs with all my ice on, cause I brought the tool out. So many hot sticks in the whip, it look like it's a luau. I just bought me a new cow, make a little nigga and his mama move out. And I just bought me a new couch, move off the low end, right to a new house. You niggas be shady, 8 mile, pop me a nigga I know that's low down. I pull up shooting 8 rounds of Drake and a Glock, make all niggas get out.
I make a hot bitch get out, she wanna talk and I got my dick out. Riding cats with big shit, ain't gotta switch, we tell us let's get out. Fuck from the back, a thick bitch, ain't got a sack, you can't even sit by. Straight from the rock, we bitch y'all. I'm in LA with my stick having withdrawals. Fuck it, let's slide, my nigga, I'm pissed off. Swinging this bitch and hit, I'm really a gangsta, I shouldn't even dish y'all. I'ma make a nigga come get y'all. I'ma make a nigga kill all y'all. That nigga a rat, his dog on. They sharing a cheese, a dog bone. Them niggas gon' die, they all wrong. I know a nigga that's waiting for a pop on. He waiting for a check to pop on. He waiting for shit to pop off. You use your Glock, your shit's off. I'm still in the game, the bench off. I'm still front line, you just talk. I still ball some like Chris Paul, give me the ball, I won the tip off. Word.
My bitch mad when I'm outside, it's bound to be a shootout. I got my foul, you got your foul, don't make me bring the crew out. I walk in clubs with all my ice on, cause I brought the tool out. So many hot sticks in the whip, it look like it's a luau. I just bought me a new cow, make a little nigga and his mama move out. And I just bought me a new couch, move off the low end, right to a new house. These niggas be shady, 8 mile, pop me a nigga I know that's low down. I pull up shooting 8 rounds of Drake and a Glock, make all niggas get out. I get on the beat and walk shit, all of my guys be ready to chalk shit here hard, I'm flexing. My ex bitch mad, I know, get off me. We leave them sleep, walking around this bitch from East to Halstead. My ops Friday think they off me, I'm still outside with ballin'. You wanna drink, they call me with no mouth, so I think they saw me. New house shit and this fresh from all these, I pop out big shit.
Sound like Marley.
I got no limits, Marley. You push shit down, we hit up heartbeats. My ops shoot shit like Carsi, it's no bloodshed, niggas know that's not beef. I work in a foul like Tyree, when I went ghost, I got power tummy. My ops sweet, sour honey, me Rishon, riding 100.
Let's ride.
He hit the ground, I'm running, we stand over shit, peel shit like onions. I gotta run it like sun, this shit won't fold, I'm thumbing and thumbing. My bitch mad when I'm outside, it's bound to be a shootout. I got my foul, you got your foul, don't make me bring the crew out. I walk in clubs with all my ice on, cause I brought the tool out. So many hot sticks in the whip, it look like it's a luau. I just bought me a new cow, make a little nigga and his mama move out. And I just bought me a new couch, move off the low end, right to a new house. These niggas be shady, 8 mile, pop me a nigga I know that's low down. I pull up shooting 8 rounds, Drake and a Glock, make all niggas get out.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, gang. Drop a 888 in the chat if you guys can hear me. We're going to go ahead and get it started in about 4 minutes. We're going to get it started at 10:40. So make sure that you guys are ready and send out the link to anybody that you feel like would benefit from a live trading or live breakdown of just what really took place today. And hopefully we can find some potential entries, family. But like I said, just drop a one-on-one in the chat if you guys can hear me. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and begin shortly, family.
Yeah, hey, fuck that shit, I'm going straight for they top. Money train Glock North can't be stopped. Yeah, Atlanta bitch tryna give me that mop. Sloppy, top, yeah. Stripper bitch tryna fuck me out my socks. I just bought a house, yeah, I'm talking about my watch. Hey, you gotta watch out cause bitches be plotting. Yeah, hey, ain't no deadline on revenge. Bitch, I'ma be the last man standing. Hey, we can go body for body. Yeah, we can go mans for mans. Yeah, I'ma be the last man standing. I took his bitch, I'm a bandit. Yeah, I hit this shit, then abandoned. My little side bitch, she come in handy. Been fucking for years, ain't had enough. These hoes get around like a mega bus. Go X my X, I trade. I jumped off the porch and got that torch, even though my grandma had cable. Yeah, little nigga, we been outside. Hey, this shit here ain't nothing new. Nigga play and then he getting fried. Take that back, he getting barbecued. Diamonds look like a Rubik's Cube. Buy my cake, don't eat Suzy Q's. Keep that heater, better keep it cool. 10 whips, I just pick and choose. If I ever catch that nigga lacking, I'ma let it go. I rip that 5, make sure they know. My pops gone, he rip 7-4. I told him I don't trap no more, but still can get it for the low. Yeah.
9 rattle. Put him in the ground, he a time capsule. It was a catastrophe, his family wish that they could time travel. In the kitchen with some, in a blender, look like fine gravel. Need a brick, I need like 32K to make my travel. I got PTSD, I shot my stick, I see my shadow. Bad bitch, suck it up, my nut mixed up in her eyeshadow.
Catch a big shot from the DE, this one Chauncey Billups. If you got bricks, we make you jump ship like Captain Phillips. My brother doing time in the bed, he did like 4,000 sit-ups.
He did like 4,000 sit-ups. Good morning, good morning, good morning. No cap though. My brother got some time in the bin. He did like 4,000 sit-ups. Good morning, good morning, good morning, family. Right? Drop in the chat where you guys are tuning in from this morning. Grateful for the 13 of you guys that are on here already. Like I said, go ahead and just send this link out to any group chats, any team chats you guys are in. Right? Let's get some real value to your squads. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that just don't know what they be doing. Just be doing shit, right? So you guys are definitely in the right place. But today, like I said, we're going to be going through a couple things in particular. But I just want to make sure that in terms of just entry points and in terms of any potential positions for today, we're definitely going to go take a dive into that right now. I just woke up, I want to say at like 10:10, right? And I really couldn't sleep last night. You know, I was rolling around a little bit, but I finally got myself to sleep. But that's why we started a little bit late today. I just woke up a little bit late. But in terms of news today, right, I kind of told just not only myself, but I also told a few of my students that even this week, I'm not really looking to trade too much just because of all of the news. Just because I expected to kind of see what's been taking place. Like the very impulsive up and down movement, plus just seeing like today in itself was just a very, very volatile day from what I could just even look at right now. But if you just knew how to position yourself, for example, based off of fundamentals, it would have been fairly easy to find positioning for all of these newses. And truthfully, outside of like the first news event that kind of came and swept the high of the day, which everything is so fractal, right? So even, for example, in here, right, this being this 8 o'clock candle, right, news was at 8:15, right? So notice how today, right, the first news event that dropped was in this candle. So this candle was the first news event that dropped, okay? But what we have to sit here and fundamentally understand is that this wick right here, this wick on this candle that goes above this London session high, this is so crucial just because of the sheer fact that if you're on this call or if you watch the recording, you'll literally see this is exactly what I was talking about with just that high of London getting took right at the beginning, 8 o'clock, right? If you guys go back test 8 o'clock, go do your homework on 8 o'clock candle opens and reversals on gold, especially. If you guys want to figure out kind of how to identify those reversals, 8 o'clock, if you really guys go take a look back at those candles, the last week or two, you guys will notice that 8 o'clock is typically where we get the open of that volatility, right? But on top of the fact, obviously, we got that wick above, right, which captured the high of the day. That really wasn't what intrigued or would have intrigued us to this particular entry. It would have been mainly this insufficiency that we had resting here. You know, this was kind of what, truthfully, I expected to happen. I wanted to see us push a little bit deeper and just run the late sellers, right? So these were the late sellers that got in all in here. People are selling all in here still too again. But in reality, we have this insufficiency, right? But when we're immediately filling price action, right? So the reason why selling like maybe here, selling in here would have been a good idea versus potentially trying to sell again when we came back into this area is because in terms of what took place prior to this price action, right, we actually captured liquidity. Okay, so we captured the last two previous day highs. which is good. If you guys just really want to pay attention to like the biggest moves, you're going to notice that there's a lot of liquidity that gets swept. So if you're not familiar with what liquidity is, it's just equal highs and equal lows, like places where you can identify these support and resistance, M's and W's, like all these retail patterns that don't work, right? Because if they worked, everyone would be rich, right? All these retail patterns, people are identifying them and they're getting hit out too early because they're playing support and resistance. Like for example, like in this box, you could have identified a support and resistance. So if you're selling off of this and buying off of this, what happens when this wick comes and explodes above here? Well, any of your sells would have had their stop loss hit. And even if you were in buys, it's like, are you going to take profit here? Because immediately following, we would have just hit you out of the buys too. Okay? So this was a very, very, very clean fill in terms of just gold, just really looking at it. Even if we take a look at the 4 hour wise, even just initially when we break below this 4 hour higher low, okay, notice how when we break below this, right, in terms of like this hourly candle, right, notice how we come pop back up, right? So 4 hour wise, right, we really came back and tapped this candle on the 1 hour, and since that point we've really just been falling down and kind of melting, right? But even taking a look right now at current price action, I could really see the market kind of reverse and go towards the upside now, just because overall it doesn't look like we have really a wick on the bottom of this hourly candle, but I guess we do on another broker. To me, if DXY, if we don't close above this this high, in my eyes, we could potentially see things kind of flip around a little bit. So gold, actually taking a look at it, I kind of like this initial kind of pop out of this area, this insufficiency. Because I initially wanted us to come a little bit lower, if I'm being honest. Like I wanted us to come and fill this at about 1800, but we don't actually have to do that. Okay, so that's one thing that you guys could really kind of keep in mind today, especially with tomorrow with NFP and unemployment rate coming out. You could really position yourself today on an entry where maybe we don't even come back tomorrow. If that's really the case. So even 5 minute wise, truthfully 5 minute wise, it looks like we broke structure. Did we close below this low? It looks like we closed below this low. But I don't know. I like the way that these candles are printing right now in terms of seeing a pop to the upside. I just don't like this candle right here in terms of this down candle, and I don't like just really this. It looks like we don't have a wick, but I guess we do have a little bit of a wick. So to me, like if we were to enter right here, like to me, if you were to take potential entry, I would be looking for like something like this. If you were to be entering like right now, but I do like this little 5 minute fill, right? And just the fact that we're kind of playing around in this area too, it kind of makes sense, like I said, just from the perspective of our mitigation, right? Just seeing us kind of dig into this area. We took the New York session low as well. Notice we didn't take this London session low. So that to me is just a big kind of like factor as to why I like the buys, is because we only took the New York lows and not the London lows, right? So price is really just continuing to push up. If you entered right now, that's cool. I personally didn't. Like I just don't like to get in at certain areas of candles. I would kind of wait for us to come back into this box if we could at the beginning of the next hour. That's personally what I would do, and my parameters would kind of be like this. But if you did buy it, to me, it very well could still continue up. That's just me being someone who likes to get good R&R, right? But at the same time, you can see this bullishness, right? You can see that as of right now, it looks clean. Like this next 9 seconds, if this candle engulfs, to me, any pop back down into this area is, in my eyes, valid. Okay, so of course we want to see that lower push, but we don't have to. Okay, so ideally we'd be looking for this whole high to get taken, which would be about a 1 to 20. But just looking for this immediate high to get taken would be about a 1 to 10. So if you're in, like I said, just be aware of the fact that we could come back and fill this little insufficiency. If you waited, right, that's fine, because like I said, the way that the candles are printing right now, we're leaving some insufficiency for us to come back and fill. Ideally, it would be good to have this hourly candle kind of punch up, because like I said, it doesn't look like we're gonna continue lower just based off of where we reacted out of. But obviously you just have to pay attention to price action. But I do like the idea of longs now, because I think we really just shook out anybody that bought. Like, I never bought really this whole week. Like, I was looking for shorts out of gold. Like, besides yesterday's stream, we looked for little buy re-entries to literally just sell. We were looking to buy it up into the area that we literally sold off from. So in regards to that, I would say shorts have definitely been the cleaner of entries. This to me would be just a good opportunity to see the market reverse, because you observe the masses and do the opposite. If the masses right now have either been selling or now they are scared to buy because of how bearish we've been, to me, I want to buy it, right? I want to buy it when nobody else wants to buy it. So to me, it looks like a good time. Even smaller time frame wise, it looks like we're starting to get that accumulation too. So really, we could push down below this once more. If we push down below it one more, in my eyes, I think that would be the spring in terms of 5-minute accumulation. Looking at this as that seller's climax. This is that potential secondary test, right? We close below this area. So to me, right, what we could potentially see, right, outside of just us coming and filling this insufficiency, is something like this. So taking the low, popping, not really necessarily popping all the way back up there, but then, so something like this. So we drop, pop, test, gone. Right? So that could be something that we could potentially see as well. XAU, GBP swept all of these lows. It looks a lot more bullish too on GBP. Silver, I like silver's fill a lot better than gold. I would have wanted gold to come, like I said, just a little bit lower, but I like where silver filled. Silver filled beautifully, in my opinion. This IPA, just textbook. Right, go do your homework on IPA fills, fam. It hit different. Oh, yeah. It hit different when you do your homework on them type of stuff. No cap. Right, so for gold, essentially what I would anticipate is re-entries right at the beginning of that 11 o'clock open. I don't know if we'll quite dig down right now. I don't know if I'd even really want us to. I'd really want to see us kind of pop up. US 30 looked like I was about to hit my alarm. Right, it looks like we're about to get into this area. US 30 yesterday, off of our first take profit, it melted. Like, if anybody shorted out of, literally out of our first take profit from yesterday, price melted. Right, so we caught longs in here, up to here. And then we can see prices basically fell off the face of the earth. Like, I wish I held 30. That would have been a good day to hold 30 shorts. Woke up to like 600 points. So when it comes down to 30, as of right now on the indices in particular, like, I wouldn't really necessarily be rushing to a position. Like, buys I kind of like though, so it's not to say that, you know, I wouldn't buy it. I just want it to come a little bit deeper, right? But ideally out of this area, right, we'd want to see something like this, right? A little pop down, and then ideally we would want to see ourselves, or at least I would want to see ourselves work our way back up towards the upside, and potentially get that continuation. Nas, to me, I wanted to see how we reacted out of this 4-hour IPA. It looks like we're actually breaking down a little bit lower, but we are getting a little bit of a reaction out of something. It looks like we filled a little IPA up in here. We also tapped off of these, like this last sell before we obviously continued higher and made that new higher high. So overall, 30 and Nas, we could potentially see buys for at the moment, but like I said, with the bearishness, I wouldn't really try and catch a fallen sword. To me, I'm more bullish on metals than I am on indices, like besides Nas. So I wouldn't really pick 30 buys over gold buys in this particular scenario. But as you guys can see, right, price is reacting lovely, even in terms of the 15-minute, right? Our insufficiency that we're leaving on the 15-minute time frame is right above our 5-minute point of interest in terms of that institutional area. So it's just a clean reaction overall. This is ideally what we would want to see if we were going to be ideally validating just this entry, right? As long as we close where we're at and we don't really flip over impulsively, in my opinion, it'll be very, very clean, at least in my eyes, to even this high, which would be about a 1 to 10, right? If you had that 10 point stop loss. So in terms of that, family, did anybody have anything that they wanted me to kind of look over? Or did anybody take gold? Did anybody hop into gold? Right, for potential longs? If you guys are eager beavers. Okay, boom. So DXY, this is exactly what we were kind of talking about. Right, so DXY was literally flying above this area, right? And like I said, if we don't close above this, we probably flip on gold. So do you guys see why I truthfully pay more attention to gold than I do DXY? Because DXY is so fucking manipulative. Like, it's even more manipulative than gold. So if gold's manipulating, DXY is going to manipulate even more. So for me, that's why I assumed DXY is going to break itself down, because gold looked ready to continue higher. Right? So for me, it works. Like I said, I know a lot of people that really sit here and it's like, they'll watch the dollar and they'll hesitate and they'll fucking psych themselves out, because it's like, think about it, like sometimes the dollar's lagging, or sometimes whatever you're trading is lagging. So if you're trading the lagger out of whatever currency or indices that you're looking to dabble into, you can't get mad just because you don't understand divergence and you don't understand just how these things can be moving slightly different even though they should be moving the same, and how to pick up on how to identify which one to kind of go after, right? So I love this bearish candle. That's exactly what you wanted to see, like I said. So we called out the flip before it even flipped. So this is why I say you just have to be confident with your analysis. Like, to me, I'm confident in gold buys, so I sit there and found the confluence with DXY for shorts, right? And it's not saying that I wanted DXY to sell off right away. It's just we gave till the end of the hour, right? If we closed above, like we said, it would have been invalidated for gold buys. Because in my eyes, we're not just going to close above there and not probably continue higher. We could obviously close above and then, get a little bit of retracement. But at the same token, it just wouldn't make sense based off of where we are in my eyes. So just seeing, obviously, how we continue to play, right? It makes a lot of sense as to why we're getting this little pop. And then it'll more than likely make sense as to why at the beginning of the next hourly candle we actually get this pop down to then whoop, go. And it'll more than likely be because DXY runs up to then starts going down. So overall, like I said, we're really playing off of this hourly point of interest, right? So overall, right, these wicks that we're kind of playing off of, like I said, is based off of this hourly point of interest. So to me, that's why I like it. Hourly and 4 hour, really, if you were to really look at the 4 hour, to me, right? We came in, we basically mitigated off the 100% of this 4-hour candle. So I really look at this as, in terms of the 4-hour, right? I kind of look at this as that last lower high, and this is now us making potentially that new lower high. Okay, so like I said, this could potentially be a longer term hold just because of the news. Like I was telling everybody, I expected the boards to get swept today, and that's exactly what happened. If you sold too early, you got hit out today, right? Because nobody really had the shorts from the top yesterday. And if you did have the shorts from the top yesterday, it's a matter of did you hold it, right? And then if you bought it, you would have got absolutely obliterated if you held, right? Which most people would have held. Most people wouldn't have closed it right at that initial peak, right? So gold initially right at the beginning of the hourly, we can see we're pushing straight down. So if we can tap either this line or get into this box, to me, I would say we could find potential entries. Like I said, your risk will really just be determined on how much you want to risk. If you enter off the black line, maybe risking like 10 pips, something like this, right? And then if we come deeper, obviously you wait for that deeper push into the body of the candle, and you still shrink down, and now you go from risking maybe about about 24 to 25 pips to now you're only risking 18, right? And you're essentially covering the same area as you were looking to cover prior. So to me, like I said, in a perfect world, we're gonna get this fill off the 15-minute at the very least, right, off this black line. Thank you. But if we don't, then ideally what I would anticipate to see is us obviously come a little bit lower into that 5-minute point of interest in that 5-minute area, just because based off of smaller time frame, like I said, it just makes a little bit of sense. Just based off of what I'm seeing right now, like I said, it looks like smaller time frame accumulation, especially on the 5-minute. So be patient. If we can dig into there, amazing. If not, like I said, don't really chase, because gold is really good at coming back. Like I said, it's just be patient and don't try and get into the market too early. You know, sometimes the best trade is no trade. So if the trade is not really lining up in your favor, there's no point in really forcing. And that's really what a lot of people will kind of do. They'll just, like, some of you guys are like trade addicts. Like, you know how there's like drug addicts? Like, you guys are trade addicts. You guys are addicted to trading. Like, drop a 1 if you guys can identify your addiction to trading. Like, you just love to trade. Like, it's not that it's a bad thing, but it's like some of you guys just love to press buttons. Like, literally, like, you just utterly and truthfully just love pressing buttons. And that's fine, right? Because I love pressing buttons. But you got to know there's a time and a place to push buttons, right? Sometimes it's better to, like, not trade on a real account. Like, to trade on, and not necessarily not a real account, but it's like, if you hit your weekly percentage on your live account, it's like, why would you keep trading on your live account when you know you hit your weekly percentage? Because all you're doing is giving yourself the potential to lose what you made. And yeah, you could make more, cool, whatever the case may be. But it's like, people are always looking at the, oh my God, I could make so much more, but they're never looking at what they could have lost. They're never looking at the fact that, damn, if they didn't secure this and it were to come all the way back to their entry point, like, would you rather have 0, or would you rather have a smaller, decent sized win? And a lot of people would almost rather have nothing than have a small win, because in their eyes, a small win isn't good enough because they think it's going to go higher. But then by them not taking profit, the trade just ends up reversing in their face. And then now they just watch a trade that they knew they should have closed, that they didn't close, end up going in the direction that they knew, like, damn, like, if I just even partial, maybe I would have sold it. Like, it's just little things like that where you really just have to kind of pay attention and just really stay on your feet when it comes down to certain things. So for me, I'm personally going to set an alert. Maybe we get it today, maybe we get it tomorrow. To me, like I said, we've already gotten a lot of volatility today. So don't expect too much crazy movement. To me, I still think that we probably run this, right? Just based off of where we're at right now, I think we run this high. So if you did get in basically from, you know, where I was really telling you guys to get in, I would most definitely say that you could hold, right? I would look to reduce your stop loss maybe a little bit, and then, or break even if you're in a decent enough entry, right? Just because, like I said, it should really be a continuation to this high before we come back, So ideally, if we come and pop above here, to me, I would still validate this entry. So this wouldn't be invalidated if we run. To me, we're just leaving this area for us to come back and fill a little bit later. But in terms of really just gold and everything as a whole, this is really what I'm looking at. Like I said, if you're in, you're in. Like I said, for me, I'm personally not. I wanted to see it come a little bit lower. So if you're like me and you're waiting for it to come a little bit lower, like I said, set an alert around 1906.50, right? There's a slight IPA now that we left. To me, based off of the way that the candle opened, it wouldn't make sense to me to come back to this area until at least 11:15. Okay, so this candle should close up. The next candle is the one, if it does come down, it'll be the next candle, or it'll be the 30-minute candle open at 11:30. In my opinion, we could break down right now, like I said, but to me, I don't think it would make sense if we were really going to continue higher to have just candles kind of come back and linger leading into this 11:15 close. I would want to see a very bullish close in the first 15 minutes and just have us essentially come back down, you know, sweep that low right at the beginning. So to me, just if we get a quick impulsive wick down into even this IPA, like as soon as we dip into here, to me it's valid, right? It's fair game, because to me, like I said, at the very least, like even if you just enter off here, like I said, with a very minimal stop loss, like you literally have less than a 10 pip stop, right? So ideally a 1 to 11, right? 1 to 11 just to this high, and that's not even doing too much, right? That's not even really doing what we wanted to do. What we really wanted to do is take all of these highs and even go higher, which would be pushing a 1 to 30. Okay, so 1 to 11 first target, then pushing 1 to 30 second target, or if we come a little bit deeper, right, we got that same 1 to 10 target, and then ideally it's going to be the same on the flip too. So imagine being able to risk 10 pips, 7 pips for 80. Imagine being able to risk 9 pips for 99, right? So this is what I talk about when it comes down to trading. Okay, you just want to be able to identify the lowest risk areas without compromising your ability to have a safe stop loss. Like you don't want to just enter with a tight stop loss and get tapped out all the time. So it's like a lot of people, I feel like when they try and do what I'm teaching them is they have too tight of a stop. But it's like I pick areas where my stop loss can breathe, but I just pick like literally the lowest or the highest area possible that price should come to. And that's how I'm able to catch these entries at the bottom or at the highs. Like if you guys ever notice, like sometimes when you guys take signals on the calls, right, or you take trade ideas, like you guys sometimes are catching the top and the bottom. Like if you really enter where I tell you to enter, you're catching the top and the bottom of the moves. And it's like, if you guys have identified that, it's like, if you're not able to consistently do that on your own, it's just because of that split second hesitation between, like, the difference between me and you, if you're not able to catch those trades right at the top, is as soon as it gets to that area where I think, like, damn, like, could it really reverse? Like, I'm entering just because it's like, it's pushing into my area, and it's like, of course, you want to, like, to me, I want to buy the market when it looks like it's going to be a sell. Like, I want to be buying the market at, like, the lowest point. Like, for example, like, if I'm selling, if I want to sell the market here, like, to me, I'd want to sell the market at the top of this wick. Like, I'd want to sell it literally at the highest point possible, right? Or if I was buying, I want to buy it at the lowest point possible based off, like, for example, if I was playing this candle, right? To me, I wouldn't have got hit out of this area, right? Because to me, I would have played this last down candle, right? After this little break of structure on the 5 minute, I would have played this sweet spot that we normally talk about, right? And after this first initial pop down, these first few wicks, I would have taken a position anywhere in here. My stop loss would have been below this wick. But it wouldn't just been like just below. It would have been like 2-3 pips below it, because I always account for spread. So if I entered anywhere in this box, in my eyes, I would have been fine if I was really paying attention to this. But obviously we weren't, right? So it's like you would have got in with the same parameters. You would have got in with a 9 pip stop, and you would have been up about 60 pips already, right? And literally 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, you would have been up 60 pips, Okay. So that's exactly what you want to see. That's kind of what I was talking about yesterday. I forgot if I was talking about that on the call or if I was talking about it on a one-on-one. But basically, I was talking about the importance of seeing these candles close in the direction that we want to. Like, we want to see these bullish candles, right? We want to see price. Like, you want to, if you're catching the trades where you're supposed to, you're typically going to hit TP very fast if you're intraday trading. Like, if you're trading, like, little small, like, if your TP is, like, 100 pip, like, 50 pip, like, 60 pip, like, if that's what you're targeting, you should be able to really hit your target in a couple hours at most. Like, literally, it should be a couple 15-minute candles. Because it's like, when we take gold position, when we take US 30 position, you guys notice how we hit take profit very fast? It's like, we'll hit take profit and then reverse. We'll hit take profit one, then reverse and even go lower maybe. But it's just, it's always being able to identify, right, where that initial move is. And it's just really trying to catch the continuation while getting the lowest risk, highest rewards potential setup. Right? So even with this, like I said, from where we initially were looking at price action, it's like, if you had got in, you know, price is up about like 40 points, right? From that area, right? In this candle on that 1045, right? Where we were looking. Right? So we basically started looking at price. Like I said, it up in here. And it's like, we've flown literally 50 pips. So this is what I talk about, right? It's like, if you just caught this particular trade here, you could have had your stop below the low, you would have been lit. To me, I would have entered on this candle if, like, price hadn't kind of already started to go. Like, I would have for sure entered on this candle. So if you guys see certain things like this, like after this engulfing candle in this point of interest that we're looking for, like, that's kind of like what you want to see. You want to see, boom, big engulfing candle, boom, big engulfing candle, right? And then just followed by this bullish, these bullish candle closes, okay? So I think US 30 is making noise, right? I think it just set off that alert that I had set. I had that set a while ago, truthfully. Oh, what do we have here on the hourly? We have hourly insufficiency right here, literally right in here that we're reacting out of. So we could really see 30 kind of just bounce and do its boogie from here. Right, so for example, to me, I would want it to come a little bit deeper, but if you were to have parameters, to me, it would look something like this. This would be first target, right, about a 1 to 10. But overall, would be looking to target all of these highs, which would be pushing closer to about a 1 to 20. Yeah, just over a 1 to 20, right? So this is what I would be looking at when it comes down to US 30. Right, in terms of potential positioning wise, right, we see that's the 4-hour IPA, and it coincidentally lines up with really the open of this, or there's a 1-hour IPA, but it lines up with the 4-hour open, right? So we may even just tap this open. Like, notice how we're getting a little bit of a pop. If you were to just play the open of the candle and stop below the low, it would be about 50 points, which to me is a big stop loss, but risk reward wise, it makes sense what we're looking for. Right, because we're looking for about 500 on the flip. Okay, but to me, I personally think we do come a little bit lower and fill this hourly IPA. 30 is very good with filling insufficiency, so I don't think we're just going to leave this. And, like, I think we might even push a little bit lower than this IPA, make maybe deeper into the body of this candle. And then we go, but we for sure absolutely can fly from right here. So 30, we could potentially see longs. NAS looks like we're going to continue lower. Gold looks like it's going to continue to run. So gold looks clean. Like I said, this is exactly how we would have wanted this 15-minute candle to basically run. We wouldn't have wanted to see us come back and close. So this is kind of what I told you with this 11:15 candle close. This is perfect, right? This is literally what we want to see. We want to see price continue up, right? We want to see that bullishness, that bullish close, right? Because as long as we close super bullish, that's good for me, because we're realistically coming into a 15-minute insufficiency. And overall on a 15-minute, you could look at this as this lower high, right? Lower low, and this now coming up is going to be our lower high. So that's why on the flip side, I could see shorts, but I don't think we're going to continue to sell off again. Like, to me, it's like we already shorted the whole day. Shorted here, popped up, gave noobs a re-entry chance right at 10 o'clock to short again, right? They probably didn't take profit. So to me, I don't think we're going to come back into here short again and then take this low. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because it would be too easy at that point. People would just be selling, right? Especially with gold, the market isn't that easy, right? It's very manipulative and it's very fast, right? So ideally right now, if we can get a pop down into this area, this would be perfect. Because to me, it would be just a quick wick into this area and then gone. But we absolutely don't have to. We might just leave this for like tomorrow and come back and fill this, like, truthfully. So overall, like I said, I do like the idea of longs. If you took the longs, I would definitely close. Like if you entered initially, because you're up like 40, 50, 60 pips, I would close and just look for re-entry. I say 9 times out of 10 we come back to where you entered, if not lower, like 100%. So to me, like I said, at the very least, this black line, very best, we're gonna get into this 5-minute candle. We're gonna come back and tap either the body of this candle, or we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into the body. So regardless of what we do, to me, like I said, we're looking for that continuation to the upside. DXY closed exactly how we would have wanted it to, right? We captured all of these highs now. So to me, it's interesting. We left all of the equal lows for DXY. So like I said, us leaving all of these lows, tomorrow NFP, right? Tomorrow unemployment rate. Does it make sense we're leaving all of these equal lows on the dollar? For us, to me, I think we die tomorrow. So I think dollar dies tomorrow, gold flies. Just based off of looking at this, I'm calling it early. So my NFP prediction is literally this. Right? Maybe some consolidation, but overall, right, I think we probably make it down into this area. Right? If we don't react out of here, of course. Right? But the next area I would be kind of looking at below would be this gap. This little teensy tiny gap. And then for gold, to me, that means we take all the highs. So to me, I would be looking gold like probably like upward to like 1,000 pips. Like it would be about 700 to 800 pips. So to put that into perspective, if you risked, let's say, 20 points, 20 pips, right? Let's say you risk 20 pips on a micro lot, right? 20 pips on a micro lot, you would have risked $2, right? To then make 80. It's like, how many of you guys are okay with that? $2 for 80. It's like most of you. So that's how we have to start sitting here and looking at these seasonal swings and potential longer term entries as okay. What is my risk reward? A 1 to 40? Right? Is it a 1 to 40 if I hold it all the way to the high, or is it a 1 to 40 if I hold it here? And that's where you have to identify, okay. You can't sit here and analyze your 1 to 10 and then take profits before and then expect it to be the same risk to reward. Right? Because it's going to be a little bit different. Right? You always want to pay yourself, but it's like if you create a plan, there will always be a plan where you could have a plan really where either you break even or you hit stop loss or take profit, right? Because to me, it's like the only time that you have a small win is when you were indecisive about closing and you just let it ride, and then it ended up coming back and, you know, tapping you out with a small dub. But overall, like I said, there isn't really anything that looks appealing in terms of entry-wise. Everything kind of did its groove. Gold, we really missed getting a better entry, but like I said, we have that re-entry, and if you did take it, like I said, you're in profits. So, you know, we had the direction, but overall, position-wise, you know, we were just a little late to the draw today. But like I said, this is good. We want to see it continue going up. So it's not that it's bad. This is good, right? This kind of validates our position even more because we're very good at coming back and filling these certain areas on gold. I just think we probably run up to close the rest of the day. And I think we probably run down at the beginning of tomorrow to kind of hit out people that bought. Like, people are buying right now. Like, people are starting to really buy right now because they just watch it fly. So think about people are buying in here. People have already bought in here. So if we kind of push the market up and kind of close it around here today, and then immediately at market open we push down, that's what I would expect on gold for sure. But in terms of that, family, if you guys gain any type of value today, make sure that you guys drop a like on the stream before you guys hop off, right? All the likes are appreciated. Ideally, we'll be back live tomorrow next week. Sunday overviews, Friday overviews, you know, I'm not running them no more because there just really isn't enough people hopping on. Like, I'm not gonna run a call. 3-4 people are gonna hop on, especially if I'm not getting paid for these calls. Because to me, like I said, my time is worth more than that, right? Especially if the 2 or 3 people that hop on are not even gonna be asking questions or interacting. It's just a waste of time for everyone, including myself. So to me, if you guys want those calls to come back, you guys just really got to take initiative yourself and just, like I said, make sure that people are locking in, because it's like everyone wants to be a trader, but then when it comes to the weekends, it's like boom, you're taking a break, you're relaxing, you're not studying. It's like you're seeing my call link, and then you're deciding between a Netflix show or maybe going out with your friends, and it's like there's nothing wrong with going out or watching Netflix, but it's like ask yourself how much money that's making you on the flip. Ask yourself if that's building generational wealth for not only you but your family and your mom and your dad and your brother and your sister and your auntie and your grandma and your grandpa and all these people in your family that work, right? So in terms of that, family, make sure that you guys really sit here and you guys lock in, and you guys make sure that you guys share these links, call links with other people. Like I said, it's selfish. There's a lot of people that really sit here and hate. Like I said, if you guys are in certain companies, there's people that hate in these companies. But ask yourself, why would someone hate on someone that is actually providing value for no reason? And it's like, it's typically because they're intimidated by the value that that person provides, right? People are not just going to be worried about motherfuckers that have no value. Like, I'm not worried about bumps, right? I don't worry about other people in this industry because it's like most of these people can't trade. So why am I going to worry about someone that doesn't have the skill set I have and try and sit here and compete like they even are on the same level? Like, we're in a different league, right? If social media closes tomorrow, a lot of these network marketers are not going to make no fucking money. If they can't sell nothing, they're not making no money, right? So now if you sit here and if the internet closes tomorrow, right, and social media shuts down, right? Let's say just social media shuts down, the internet still works, right? We're making money still. If you know how to trade. If you don't, fuck, you're shit out of luck. So this is why it's important to learn how to trade from people that really trade for real. Okay? So in terms of that, family, I love and appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys on the flip. Like I said, if you guys want Friday and Sunday's call back, make sure that you guys just, like, we need to at least get like 25, 30 plus on next week's live trading if we want to make that happen. But this week for sure, I'm not running Sunday or Friday, just because, like I said, it's a waste of my time, and I don't like to waste your time either, right? Because if there's only 2-3 people on, right, it's really going to be a waste of time if I'm doing a question and answer and the 2 people on don't have questions, right? Or they're not willing to ask their questions, is a better way to put it. So, like I said, overall, I don't really see anything position-wise, but I appreciate you guys. How did you study IPAs? I studied IPAs from just really locking in with people that had the results that I wanted, right? With my mentors, I studied for 2 to 3 years very heavily. Year 3 to year 4, I definitely didn't study as much. But at the same time, I was just applying. I was in the field, so I was getting real world experience versus sitting here and just studying and not applying. A lot of you guys study a bunch of shit and you don't apply it. To me, I'm the type of person that applies what I learn. And I'm not going to study useless shit that I'm not going to use, right? If I study something, I'm going to do it, right? Or at least I'm going to try to see if it works and go from there. But overall, 1130 potentially is where you're going to see price maybe come back down, wick into this area, maybe not. Like I said, we probably just run, right? I do want to see this IPA fill. Will we fill it? Who knows? Should we fill it? Yeah, but we'll definitely see, family. But in terms of that, I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys next week on stream, family. Peace.